Bugatti said this couldn't be fixed, but Matt Armstrong fixed it anyway. And not by restoring it, not by following factory rules, but by doing the one thing Bugatti purists hate the most. This Bugatti Chiron was never supposed to come apart. The gearbox failed, the structure was damaged. And now, instead of bringing it back to standard, Matt Armstrong decided to make it completely insane. Custom aero, aggressive bodywork, re-engineered parts, and shortcuts that would make Bugatti engineers uncomfortable. And the craziest part? This is only the beginning. Before we continue, if you enjoy seeing cars that were written off, abandoned, or called unfixable brought back against all odds, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's continue. Bugatti never designed the Chiron to be rebuilt like this. From day one, this car was engineered with one philosophy: performance first, disassembly never. And Matt Armstrong found that out the hard way. What started as a rebuild quickly turned into something much bigger. Because the deeper this car was stripped, the clearer one thing became. This Bugatti was never going back to standard, not after the damage it had taken, not after the gearbox failure, and definitely not after seeing how the factory assembled everything to never be touched again. Behind the leather, the Alcantara, and the carbon fiber, everything was glued, bolted, layered, and hidden in ways designed to make removal as difficult as possible. Trim pieces bolted from behind the dashboard, tabs glued instead of clipped, carbon fiber panels fixed in place like they were never meant to move. To remove one small trim panel properly, you'd have to remove the entire dashboard. And that's where the rebuild changed direction. Instead of dismantling half the car just to follow factory procedure, Matt made a call that shocked a lot of people. He pulled the glued tabs free, removed the trim, and decided he'd glue it back on later. Functionally, it's the same. Structurally, it works. And once you accept this car is no longer factory, you unlock freedom. Freedom to fix, freedom to modify, freedom to build something Bugatti never intended. By the time the interior was stripped, there was nothing left but exposed carbon fiber and aluminium. Seats out, dash apart, steering wheel removed. And on a Bugatti Chiron, removing the steering wheel isn't a small thing. The start button lives on the steering wheel. If the clock spring gets damaged, the car may never start again. No buttons, no ignition, no easy replacement. So the clock spring was locked in position, taped carefully, and protected. Because one mistake there could end the entire project before it really began. When the interior finally came out, it revealed something unexpected. The materials feel premium, but the way everything is assembled feels industrial, more permanent than beautiful. Built to last, not to be worked on. And that confirmed the next decision. The interior wasn't going back to OEM. It was going to E3 Customs, a shop known for doing interiors that look better than factory. Cars you've seen at SEMA, cars owned by major YouTubers, million-dollar builds. This Bugatti would get a one-of-one interior, custom stitching, unique materials, and design details Bugatti would never approve. Once the interior left the car, there was no turning back. Then there's the bonnet. This car hit a pickup truck, and somehow the bonnet survived. The inner structure is gone. The panel is flimsy, but it's still in one piece. Instead of replacing it, it's being remade, reinforced, vented, made more aggressive. Crash damage turned into an upgrade. Again, this isn't about restoring. It's about evolving. But everything so far is cosmetic compared to what comes next. The engine, the gearbox, the transmission. The part everyone says you don't touch on a Bugatti. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of the damage is metal. Aluminium structures, machined components, weldable parts. Difficult, yes. Impossible, no. This is the point where the rebuild stops being theoretical. You don't try an engine out on a Bugatti, you commit to it. And when that time comes, it won't be a one-man job. It'll be all hands on deck. Every bolt matters, every torque spec, every seal. Because when you're dealing with a quad-turbo W16 making 1,500 horsepower, there's no room for guesswork. The transmission alone costs more than most people's houses. One mistake during reassembly could mean catastrophic failure at speed. And speed is what this car was built for. 261 mph in stock form. That's not a number you reach with shortcuts. So every decision from here forward carries weight. Real weight. The kind that keeps you up at night. Because this isn't a Tesla swap. This isn't an LS motor in an exotic. This is keeping a Bugatti while making it better than it was. That line is razor thin. Cross it too far one way, and you've built a kit car with a Bugatti body. Cross it the other way, and you've spent a fortune to rebuild what already existed. The goal is somewhere in the middle. A car that honors what Bugatti created, but isn't afraid to push past factory limitations. Parts are being sourced from places Bugatti would never acknowledge. Specialists who've worked on hypercars but don't have the official blessing. Engineers who know the platform inside out but aren't on the payroll. This is guerrilla engineering at the highest level, and it's being documented every step of the way. Because 5 years from now, someone else will attempt something like this. And they'll have this build to reference. That's the real legacy here. Not the car itself, but the roadmap it creates. Some will use it, others will criticize it, but no one will be able to ignore it. The files are being saved, the process is recorded, the mistakes catalogued, because transparency is the entire point. If this fails, at least the failure will be educational. If it succeeds, it rewrites what's possible outside factory walls. Either way, the automotive world will be watching. Forums are already debating whether this build is genius or sacrilege. Bugatti owners are split. Some are horrified. Others are quietly curious about what's actually possible with their own cars. And that curiosity is dangerous, because it questions the mythology. It challenges the idea that these cars are too sacred to modify. The truth is, they're just cars. Extraordinary cars, yes, but cars nonetheless. Metal, carbon, electronics, and engineering. And if you understand the engineering, respect the tolerances, and commit to doing it right, there's no reason it can't be done. That's the belief driving this build forward. That craftsmanship and determination can rival factory precision. It's an old-school mentality applied to a cutting-edge machine. And that collision is exactly what makes this compelling. The clock is ticking, parts are arriving, the shop is cleared, and the team knows what's at stake. This isn't just another build video, it's a statement, a line in the sand, a challenge to everything the industry says is off limits. And when you challenge the establishment, you better be ready to back it up. Because the internet doesn't forget. Every weld will be scrutinized, every fitment gap analyzed, every choice questioned by people who've never touched a wrench. But that's the price of doing something that's never been done. You don't get credit without risk. And this build is all risk. The difference is, this time, the risk is calculated, measured, and fully committed to. This rebuild isn't about flexing money. It's not about clout. It's about access. 5 years ago, nobody imagined a Bugatti Chiron being stripped and rebuilt on YouTube by people learning as they go. And yet, here we are. People will hate this build. Purists will say it's ruined. Some will say it should have been scrapped. Others will say shortcuts don't belong on cars like this. But that's exactly why people can't look away. Because this isn't safe content, it's not predictable, and it's not polite. And if this works, it proves something uncomfortable. Bugatti isn't untouchable. The interior is gone. The vision is locked. The parts are moving. But the hardest part hasn't started yet. The engine still sits in the car. The gearbox damage is unresolved. And once that process begins, there's no undo button. Because the next time you see this Bugatti, it won't be coming apart anymore. It'll be going back together. And that's where everything either comes together or falls apart.